I refused to give up my plane seat so a mother could sit with her young daughter, and she told the entire flight I was a horrible person. I'm 32 and I fly a lot for work, probably twice a month. I always book my flights early and specifically choose my seat because I'm anxious about flying, and having control over where I sit helps me feel less panicky. For this particular flight last week, a cross-country 6-hour trip, I'd booked a window seat in an exit row. I like the window because I can lean against it and close my eyes without anyone bothering me, and the exit row meant extra legroom. I'm also 5'10", so the legroom actually matters. I got to my seat and settled in, already feeling that pre-flight anxiety creeping up. Then this woman approached me with a girl who looked about 8 or 9. The woman said, "Excuse me," and I looked up. She explained that she and her daughter were supposed to sit together, but there was some mix-up with their tickets, and they'd been separated. She was in a middle seat 3 rows back, and her daughter was in the middle seat next to me. She asked if I'd be willing to switch seats with her so she could sit with her daughter. I asked where her seat was. She pointed to 18B, a middle seat between 2 large men who were already seated and taking up a lot of space. No extra legroom, no window, just a middle seat on a 6-hour flight. I said I was sorry, but I'd specifically booked the seat in advance, and I wasn't comfortable switching. The woman's face changed. She said, "It's a long flight and she's only 9. I need to be able to sit with her." I felt bad, but I also thought that wasn't really my problem. I said, "I understand, but I paid extra for the seat specifically. Maybe you could ask someone else or talk to the flight attendant about finding 2 seats together somewhere else." She got this tight smile and said, "So you're really going to make a little girl sit alone away from her mother for 6 hours?" I said her daughter wouldn't be alone. She'd be next to me and another passenger, and that lots of kids fly without their parents. The woman said she's 9, like I was being deliberately dense. At this point, people were staring and I felt my face getting hot. I said again that I was sorry, but I wasn't switching. The mom huffed and went to find a flight attendant. I saw her talking and gesturing toward me. The flight attendant came over and very politely asked if I'd consider moving to accommodate a family. I said I'd paid for this specific seat and wasn't interested in switching to a middle seat. The flight attendant said she understood and that she'd see what else she could do. The mother ended up sitting 3 rows back and her daughter sat next to me. Before the mom left, she said loud enough for people around us to hear, "I hope you're happy making a child sit away from her mother. Really kind of you." The daughter was fine, honestly. She had an iPad and headphones and barely looked up the entire flight. She didn't seem scared or upset at all. But about an hour in, the mother came up to check on her and gave me this look like I was some kind of monster. She did this 3 more times during the flight. When we landed, the woman made a point of saying to another passenger loudly, "Some people have no compassion. Imagine not giving up a seat so a mother can sit with her young daughter. What kind of person does that?" Several people looked at me and I felt humiliated. I told my boyfriend about it when I got home, and he said I was technically in the right, but it wouldn't have killed me to be nice and take the middle seat. My sister said the mom should have planned better and booked seats together in advance like I did, and that her poor planning wasn't my emergency. My coworker said she would have switched immediately because it's just a seat, and helping a parent sit with their kid is the decent thing to do. Now I keep second-guessing myself. The girl was clearly fine without her mom, and I do have flight anxiety that's worse in middle seats where I feel trapped. But I also keep hearing that woman's voice saying I have no compassion. My boyfriend said I'm overthinking it, but also that if it had been him, he probably would have switched to avoid the drama. I don't think I did anything wrong by keeping the seat I'd paid for and specifically selected, but the way everyone on that plane looked at me made me feel like I'd done something terrible. Am I the asshole?